Hello everyone, as usual it's me Pavlo, and today we'll be talking about iBasso flagship player DX340. I recently got a few requests to review it, so I reached a local distributor and asked for a loaner unit. So I spent the week with this exciting player and I'm ready to tell you about it. It can't be called an affordable device or cheap or, I don't know, even cost efficient. Price is $1,700, which is a pretty steep price. But in exchange, iBasso definitely put a lot of effort and sophisticated ideas into this player. In this video, I will try to show it all to you and tell, but basically it's an Android player based on Android 13 with big 6-inch OLED screen with 8 GB of RAM, Snapdragon 665, providing smooth and nice work. And it has a sophisticated audio part with discrete DX and swappable op amps, typical for iBasso flagship. So today we also will be talking about AMP16, which elevates the level of this player even higher. So links will be in the description, and now let's have a closer look. Package continues iBasso approach to the design of boxes. It looks stylish and nice. It's slightly bigger than previous models, but it's because iBasso had to accommodate more accessories inside. So interesting soft touch box with diagonal cut. On top you'll get player itself. Then we can dive deeper. Let me do it this way probably. So let me try to open this fast but accurate, because I need to return this loaner unit. And here you'll get some papers and stock case, actually pretty nice looking and interesting, and some protective film. So I will unpack it and take a look later. And also we've got two boxes here. First one contains the power supply with your country appropriate plug and additional rubber plugs for the power connector on the amplifier. And what is in the second box? Let me try to find out and see. Most likely it will be USB, but I want to open it without much, still want to open without much damage. So, interesting idea. Some velvet bag. Yep, USB type A to USB type C. Then iBasso's burn-in cable, now with Pentagon connector, and adapter for the coaxial line out. So as you can see, accessory set is pretty big, so other companies can learn something here. Here is the stock case, and I wanted to show it to you closer because it definitely looks well thought and well designed. It's not some generic case that some companies put into accessory set. It's obvious that iBasso put effort into designing this dotted texture and overall look. And that's the rare example when a case doesn't hide the beauty of the device, just changes the exterior to also a really great looking one. Here is DX340 itself, and once again iBasso changed their approach to the design. To be honest, I liked the previous iteration with smooth shapes more, but this one also looks really great. But some parts reminds me about Astel and Kern. For example, this knob looks Astel and Kernish, but luckily it's not as wiggly as a K1. In general, nice look, strict lines, sophisticated shapes. It's pretty heavy, it's really big because we have 6-inch OLED screen here, which occupies almost the whole front panel with really narrow bezels, which is another great thing. Sides have this unique metal texture. And here is the back panel, and it hides one of the most unique features of this player, which is really appealing to me, and I'm almost sure that it will be appealing to many other people. You can unscrew these two tiny screws and open the back panel, and you can easily replace the battery. So that's the case. You're paying a lot of money, but at least here iBasso got your back covered. And even after a few years when battery will die during to wearing, you can easily swap it and replace. And taking into account that iBasso still provides batteries even for DX100, I think that this player can be considered as a long-time investment overall. So I'd like it to be a bit lighter in weight because it's really heavy, but it's the price we pay for this sturdy metal shell. As usual, USB-C is on the top, as well as SPDIF and microSD cards. iBasso uses a bit of inverse design because on the bottom they have replaceable amplifier modules. More on that a bit later. In terms of power, it took about 3 hours to fully charge the built-in battery. Slightly less, but like 240, 245, sorry, not 200, 2 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes, I mean. And iBasso stated that with AMP15 you can expect about 11 hours of battery life, but more realistically I've got from 8 to 9 hours usually. But still it's a pretty good figures considering impressive audio schematics inside. Here is knob. It has really light clicks, but they are well registered, and it's also can be pressed to turn player on and off. So let's let it boot. 3 buttons on the side, nice looking, with good tactile feedback, and on the bottom we've got this replaceable amplifier modules. So deal is traditional for the iBasso, unwind 2 screws, and you can take out this module and replace it with another. There are 2 models available now, or at least 2 models I have at my disposal. AMP15 is the stock one, and AMP16 is an alternative. I will cover it later in this video too. And single-ended balanced output, and also a separate socket to plug in external 12 volts to provide high amplification and sound improvement. Here is main screen. So here how it looks. It flickers a little bit on the video, but in real life, of course, it looks absolutely great. It's OLED panel with high resolution, great viewing angles, really juicy colors. So one of the best screens in the DAP world we've seen. It's responsible thanks to the Snapdragon 665 inside, and definitely we at least reach the point where players can be compared with mid-level smartphones at least. Traditionally for iBasso flagship devices, you getting 2 operation systems. Let's first have a look at Android. It's Android 13 with Play Store enabled and a few additional tweaks and enhancement for sound reproduction purposes, like bypassing system resampler for all applications. And of course, there are extra audio-related settings in the drop-down and in the settings app. And here they are in the audio section: volume, amp and deck gain. So you can see that because here used iBasso proprietary technologies, you can select, you have more control over the deck, and you can select deck gain and amp gain separately. Also, it's AMP16 installed, so you can select tube or AB output mode, transistor 1. And if we swap the amplifier card, we won't get this toggle here. And harmonic, it's a digital filter selector, and there are a few interesting options. They do indeed change the sound, but I will be using only natural one in sound description. I won't be elaborating on differences between these digital filters, because I want you, if you will decide to buy this player, to experiment and select one of these different options. They change sound not by a huge margin, but in a noticeable way. So I really encourage own experiments. Then you can get volume limitation, volume knob, then DC super gain if you connect DC, and the car mode, also typical feature for modern players. Also here you can select buttons, which one will be for the fast forward and which one will be for the previews. And this all is almost standard. As usual, there is a Mango player. Actually, in my opinion, it could use some rework in terms of the design, but it does its job really well, because it has a convenient music library with all this sorting and filtering by genres, albums, artists, by folders, search. Basically, all features you can expect from the modern players are here, and they works really well. And here in the settings, channel balance, harmonic settings, media scan, also gapeless playback, deck, amp gain. So almost all we've seen in the audio settings. Also, you can enable graphic equalizer or parametric equalizer. It works only in the player. No system-wide equalizer, unfortunately, but maybe we'll see it in future versions, or maybe not. You can activate USB deck mode here and Bluetooth deck, change some basic settings. So what I can say, pretty convenient app that is evolving with iBasso line of players for many years. And overall, Android is pretty stable, feature-packed, so everything that we can expect we are getting here. If you don't need Android features like streaming services, or if you don't like Android at all, iBasso have your back covered, and they offer a second OS called Mango OS. It's their proprietary solution based on Linux kernel with one goal in mind: just playing music. So, unsurprisingly, it just looks like Android with Mango player launched. And interface is a bit different, but you're getting basically the same features. Here is media library with different browsing features, like, for example, here is albums list. You can see it's fast, snappy, same as in the Android. Now playing screen is absolutely the same, and also in the settings you can control some of the features of music playback. So, for example, gapeless playback, you can activate DC super gain, output mode for the AMP16 deck and amp gain, play mode, left-right balance, equalizer. Here is only linear equalizer, no parametric equalizer in Mango OS. Left-right balance, harmonic selection, and a bit of advanced settings like media scan, MTP, and so on. And also you can reboot back to the Android. Hypothetically, Mango OS can improve the sound because it's like more straightforward solution, but I didn't experience any changes, and I'm a bit skeptical here because, in my opinion, when OS and player does their job well, there won't be difference because they just unpack the music file and send it to the deck for the processing. And I did some A/B testing and didn't encountered any difference. So for me, Mango OS is more a matter of convenience and focused on the task. But it's still a great to have a feature. Replaceable amp modules came in metal boxes. You'll get in the box amplifier itself, a few extra screws and screwdriver you'll need to install it. And here is actually AMP15. It was a stock amp, and this box is from AMP16 that I have now installed. So let me show you what we are getting when we unscrew it. So unscrew two bottom screws. They are really tiny, so it's better to do in a well lit place and without extra hurry. So you unscrew two screws, and small life hack for easy amp module removal, just use this burn-in adapter, plug it and pull. And here is AMP16 in all its glory. So you can compare them, you can see that they are well engineered. Here are these tubes themselves with their dampening, with their shielding, and here is rear side. You can see that it's packed with different micro schemas and details. So if you need to replace battery, you need to unscrew two screws here, remove this metal small detail, and also you'll need to remove two Phillips screws deep inside. And then you will be able to accurately slide this back lid and get access to the battery. I won't be doing it now because it's not my player, but it's not that hard to do in general. And of course, about the sound, first let's talk about stock AMP15. With this amplifier, DX340 continues iBasso approach to the sound, detailed, slightly focused on the micro contrast with almost maximum resolution, natural, slightly monitoring, but luckily not too dry like it was in some previous models. Still, it's a really resolving player, really focused on delivering small nuances and all that tiny things, highlighting them and pushing forward. So bass goes to the maximum depth, it's perfectly controlled, it's great in rendering textures, it's delivering everything with great punch, but of course zero added weight, so it's mostly depend on the record quality. When weight is present in the record, it will be present on the output of this player, but when record is not perfect, of course it will be like merciless for the poorly recorded material. And let's go with first example. It's Get Lucky by Daft Punk. Punchy, engaging, perfectly balanced in terms of quantity, and the bass stays absolutely at its place, building the foundation of the tune, but of course not interfering with other instruments. And Gunpowder Chant by Diablo Swing Orchestra. I like this track and I like this didgeridoo part. It's really saturated in terms of low frequencies. It's really instrument with rich textures, and it's rendered almost perfectly here without any nuances or issues, drawbacks or something like that. Mid frequencies are also focused on the resolution. They sound slightly on the drier side of things, so it's still really critical for the quality of record, just delivering what is present. Zero attempts to boost dynamics or emotions, but when they are present, they will be right here. You can actually change this with that harmonic toggles. You can make sound slightly more colored, but still it remains slightly focused on the micro contrast. Imaginary stage is spacious, really three-dimensional, with pinpoint positioning and really everything positioned really well. And instruments are natural and vocals, and everything is not changed, not altered like as it is. So let's proceed to the examples. Child in Time by Deep Purple, absolute perfection with all nuances of the vocal, with all guitar parts, all percussions, that electric organ, everything really shines, everything is present, highlighted, and you can easily focus on each separate instrument. And Brothers in Arms, great vocal, even a bit oversaturated with small nuances with stock AMP15, but still really enjoyable and emotional. Treble is well extended, goes to maximum extension, neutral, a bit on the energetic side of things, slightly highlighted to give more air to the records, and of course with great layering and overtone saturation. So pretty rich, but at the same time also requiring great quality of material and pinpointing any issue that is present in the record. So first example is Resolution by John Coltrane from the famous A Love Supreme. A lot of overtones, really saturated instruments with all that nuances, and they are represented in the highlighted way. If you like splashy cymbals, if you like energetic treble, it's your option here. And Time by Søren Bebe Trio. Sorry if I did pronounce this incorrectly. My recent discovery. I really like this Dutch performer and composer. Absolutely classical northern jazz with high quality of record, really engaging, really atmospheric, and requiring a great technical level from the devices, and this is rendered at the maximum highest quality possible. As for AMP16, actually, in my opinion, it's the addition that boosts iBasso 340 from great device to the exceptional. I'm not sure whether iBasso offers 340 with AMP16 as a stock version, or you need to buy it separately having AMP15, but in any case, it's a really worth thing to have, because it really upping the level of this player. You know, I don't like these words about level. I don't think that it's measurable, but in still AMP16 makes sound more mature and more engaging, more interesting, let's name it this way. And on top of the basic technicality that AMP15 offers, you getting two types of different signatures. In the AB mode, you're getting a slight boost in the dynamics and emotions, and it gives surprisingly great results with overall technicality typical for this player. And in the tube mode, you're getting even more focus on the emotions, you're getting slightly more velvet sound, which actually balancing this technicality. If you don't need this this focus on the small nuances, tubes actually does their job in saturating it with harmonics, and does this job better than these digital filters does it in a more natural and engaging way. So let's probably run through the examples once again and get lucky. In the AB mode, it's almost the same as AMP15. In tube mode, you're getting a bit more weight, and that highlights baseline a little bit and making it a bit more saturated. it's it's leaving a bit less space for the rest of instruments, but it doesn't change the balance too much. And with Gunpowder Chant, actually you getting slightly more focus on the small nuances in the AB mode, making this didgeridoo even more organic and natural. And in the tube mode, actually it became a bit less saturated and slightly more relaxed. I prefer AB mode, but it's matter of taste here. So mids became more focused on the vocals, more focused on the emotions and dynamics, and what it gives us in terms of examples. So Child in Time in AB mode, you're getting more focus, you're getting more of emotions, you're getting more immersion into vocal and instrumental part. And in the tube mode, you're getting a bit more relaxed representation, still with great emotions, but a bit less saturated with small nuances. It makes a bit easier to focus on the vocal without being more distracted by the rest of instruments. And Brothers in Arms, here you also getting either more emotions in the vocal that make them shine, or slightly more relaxed representation of the instruments and more highlighting vocals. And also in terms of stage, tube modes bring vocalist more forward, making stage more intimate, but at the same time highlighting voices. Also, tube mode of AMP16 sounds great with small instrumental bands. In terms of treble, you're getting slightly less sharp and energetic representation in the AB mode, but still really mature. And in tubes mode, you're getting a bit more relaxed treble, but still really technical with great layering. And what it gives, so here tube mode plays a maximum role, giving maximum charm to this record, because you still getting all that nuances, but they are a bit less forward and probably more corresponding to the epoch when this record was made, making it sound absolutely engaging and lifelike. And here we probably a B mode fitting better to my taste, because it makes everything like absolutely in place, with a bit less forwardness in treble, but still with great amount of saturation with nuances and overtones. So to summarize this part, AMP16 is total must-have in my opinion. Unsurprisingly, in terms of pairings, it's absolutely versatile device. Probably it's the way it should be with high-end players, because if you're investing tons of money into some device, you definitely want it to play perfect with anything you can connect to it. And iBasso can create great amplifiers, and 340 delivers all that. From one hand, you're getting great black background with sensitive IEMs without any background noise, hum or something like that. On the other hand, you're getting tons of power when you need it to drive some full-size power-hungry cans. And for the most power-hungry, you're getting this option of external 12 volts power supply that boosts drivability even further. Speaking about the comparisons, I will be speaking about AMP16. First, because with AMP15, 340 stays a bit aside from the rest of the players, being slightly more monitoring and a bit drier sounding. And also because I think that AMP16 is like final form of iBasso DX340. Well, at least so far. Maybe we'll see more amplifier models in the future, but as AMP16 boosts level of this player further, I think it's make more sense to compare it. FIO M17, here you're getting slightly better resolution, slightly better control, and either a bit more organic sound signature with tubes, or slightly more saturated emotions and dynamics in the AB mode.
and that makes sound a bit more mature. Shenling M8T that I reviewed recently, it's more relaxed compared to both modes of this amplifier. And all three modes of Shenling are a bit more relaxed. Here you're getting more focus on technicality, but at the same time you're getting also that tubes magic. But if you want even more softer sound, you can consider Shenling, of course. Speaking about the flagships, actually, this player goes really close to the top of the line flagship domain. I haven't heard new Aston Kern SP4000. Everyone who heard it in Munich is raving about it, but actually I'd say that it comes close to my beloved SP2000 that I really like. SP2000 being a bit more natural with that Aston Kern coloration, but taking into account the price difference, here you're getting much more value. So to summarize everything, I think that iBasso created the most versatile player so far with the best value for this price, and that's my opinion about 340. I'm really sad that I have to return it, but I'm glad that I have an opportunity to test it and to review. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and have a great day.